With the new seasons of anime here, I wanted to go over the best and worst anime of fall 2022. It will also include the best and worst moments of each anime in my opinion. Now let's stop stalling and go into the first anime. Best, Chainsaw Man, the most hyped anime for the season. Did Chainsaw Man live up to this hype? For the most part, yes. I thought Chainsaw Man would be up there with animes like Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's not on that level yet. With more seasons, Chainsaw Man will join that top echelon of animes. Chainsaw Man made a great first impression, and I'm excited for more. Best, Pochita. Just look at him. He's just so cute. How can you not love this creature? Best, fight scenes. The fight scenes are very entertaining and look great. It will only get better because of the different demons and devil hunters, giving us new powers and techniques for the fight scenes. And even the CGI looked good. The fight scenes were everything I wanted, blood, guts, and gore. What more can you ask for? Best, Kobeni. I find her hilarious and she shines in the hotel scenes. This has to be my favorite episode. It is funny and serious at the same time. And Kobeni is just that damsel in distress character that turns out to be a badass. I mean, she is a devil hunter for a reason, and I just can't wait to see more of Kobeni in the future. Best, opening and closing themes. I love movies, and the references to them in the opening are amazing. It's just a cool thing that they added, and I have to respect it. Having a different closing song and visual is something I haven't seen before, that I can remember at least. It makes me look forward to watching the closing theme and watching new visuals and how they're tied to the episode I just watched. It's just perfect. Respect to whoever made that decision. This next part, I'm gonna talk about major spoilers about Chainsaw Man, so you can skip to the next anime. Worst, killing of the divisions. Killing side characters is necessary for an anime like Chainsaw Man. I get it, but I just wanted some more time with these characters. They needed to show the stakes, and characters are not safe. Characters repeatedly mentioned that being a devil hunter is a dangerous job, and many of their partners have died. Now that they showed the death of characters, we the viewer understand that now. No side character is safe, and now it's just a guessing game of who's next. Best, Himeno's death. It is the worst that she died, but the way she was killed off was well done. We got to know Himeno, and her death had an emotional impact. I cared for her death and was upset that she won't be in the series anymore. Best, Spy X Family Season 2. What can I say about the show? Season 1 lived up to its hype, and Season 2 has continued to live up to that expectation. I know this anime is not made for everyone, but I really enjoy it, and I'm excited for the movie that they announced. Best, the characters. I like all the characters. Aside from the main characters of Anya, Yor, and Lloyd, Bond has been a great supporting addition to Anya's antics since he understands her best. Yuri and Fiona are great recurring characters, and I hope they get a bigger arc in the future. Best, inner monologue. The inner monologues the characters have in their minds are hilarious. Hearing their true thoughts and intentions with Anya's reactions to them is always funny. Best, the scene. Spy X Family has so many great moments, but my favorite moment is the scene where Yor is imagining her and Anya being assassins. It is just an absurd scene, and it has really stuck with me. Best, this tennis scene. I just think this scene is so cool. It is outrageous and I want more of it. This scene did not have to go so hard, but it did. And it was flashy, funny, and just overall amazing to watch. Best, Mob Psycho 3. I really like Mob Psycho. The show is able to build up their arcs and have a satisfying end to them. The recurring characters are still great and the new ones have fitted perfectly. And this is the best season they had for Mob's character development, and it was perfect. Worst, if I have one complaint about Season 3, is that it feels slower than the other seasons. I feel like some episodes are filler, but they aren't too bad because it shows the continuous growth of Mob and the other characters around him. Based on where the plot was going, I understand why it was a slower season, but other than that, the ending made up for how slower paced this season was. Best, Saitama. I love Easter eggs and references, and having a quick shot of Saitama made me smile. Plus, I love One Punch Man, so it was a nice touch. Here's a spoiler warning. You can skip to the next anime if you don't want to be spoiled. Best, Divine Treat arc. The build-up and conclusion of this arc was well done. Mob Psycho has great fight scenes, and this was one of the best ones. The fight scenes had flair and flash, and it just looked great on screen. They really know how to do a fight scene, and I felt like we were spoiled with this one. Best, killing a main character. Killing a main character is a risk. Fans will love it or hate it depending on how it is done. Killing Dimple off during this arc was perfect for him. It was done right, and in the end, Dimple had a satisfying end for the characters in the anime and for the fans. I'm usually not a fan of killing off main characters, but in this case it was done well enough that I was satisfied with it. Best, Mob's growth. I mentioned in the intro that this was the best season for Mob's character development. He is finally able to accept his other half, and he's no longer afraid of that other half. The half with his powers and psychic abilities, he was afraid of it for so long, but with the ending of Mob Psycho 3, he learned to accept it and control it. And we finally get to see the true version of Mob. Best, Reagan. Reagan probably had the best moment in the season of him finally coming clean to Mob that he's a scammer. It was a touching scene, and it helped Mob accept his other half. We all knew Reagan was somewhat of a scumbag and was basically the Mr. Krabs of the show. But to see him sacrifice his pride for Mob, for someone who he really cares about, was just amazing to see. Mob Psycho really knows how to develop their characters and give them ways to make mistakes and learn from them. All 3 seasons of Mob Psycho are great, and you just had to be there when the finale came out for Season 3. Best, Blue Lock. I was hyped for Blue Lock because I heard the manga was really good and I like sports anime. Blue Lock did not disappoint. Even though the concept itself is ridiculous, it does represent the sport of soccer accurately. The author does know soccer, and it really shows throughout the anime. Blue Lock is great. It has definitely put itself on the same tier of other top sports anime, and I'm excited for the second half of the season. Yes, I call it soccer since I'm American. It is what it is. Best, real shoutouts. The shoutout to real players like Messi and Ronaldo is a treat. I was surprised they mentioned real players, and I can't think of any other sports anime that mentioned real players by their names and animated them. I feel like for sports anime, if characters that talk about being great at the sport, they gotta mention some of the GOATs of the sport already. Best, mentality. Sports is physical, but the mental aspect is just as important. Blue Lock talks about it, especially the player's ego, which is very apparent in soccer. Not many sports anime talk about mentality. Again, it's just showing that Blue Lock has a deeper understanding for the sport. And the ego aspect of it is important to the plot of Blue Lock. Worst, the game. The thing I dislike about sports anime is that they don't play the game enough. During the matches, they are talking more and not playing. I get it. They have to take time to build up the characters, and during the matches is the time to do it. I just wish we saw more gameplay, but almost all sports anime do this, so I don't fault Blue Lock for it. Best, fan service. You thought fan service was only for female characters? Not here. There's only man buns. Best, Japan's team. Japan's World Cup team performed well. They did better than expected, and it was nice to see people celebrate in Japan. Also, their great performance was all because of Blue Lock, clearly. Best, Bleach. I love Bleach, and the return did not disappoint. I was extremely hyped for Bleach, and it lived up to it. This was made for Bleach fans. If you like Bleach, you will like this new season. Best, visuals. The characters look so good. Having a modern anime look for an older anime is the best. They all look the same, just as what I remembered from when I watched Bleach back in the day, just with a new sleek HD look. Best, the invasion. Bleach is coming in hot. Seeing the characters fight and release it at Bankai is great to see. It is visually appealing, and the stakes for the season are at an all-time high. You can't tell me that these fight scenes doesn't look good. Seeing these captains go all out, releasing their abilities, and fighting for their lives really puts some perspective on this season. These enemies are powerful, and no one is safe. I'm excited to see how Ichigo deals with this threat. Best, watching this season, it gives me the feeling that Bleach never left. It has kept up the same vibe as the original series. Being in this world again, and seeing an updated look on these characters have made me so excited for the season, and I'm excited for the next one. Best, Uncle from Another World. This anime premiered in the winter seasonal anime, but it had delays and had to finish in the fall seasonal anime. This anime is amazing for an isekai. While it's kinda like a reverse isekai where we see his adventure through his memories, this anime is hilarious and you should watch it if you haven't. Best, references. They name drop real life companies in games such as YouTube and Sega. Also, the characters talk about older technology, which older people may recognize. They also mention anime tropes like tsundere. Me personally, I'm a fan of references, whether it is from media, anime, video games, technology, and anytime an anime does it, to me, that's the best moment. Best, YouTuber. Ochi-san becomes a YouTuber in the show. His content consists of showing off his powers that he got from the other world. In this day and age, who doesn't want to be a YouTuber? Kids are becoming YouTubers at the age of like 6. He may got a late start to it, but it's never too late. Best, Sonic. Sonic makes a cameo in this anime, and it is hilarious. Oh wait, never mind. Worst, negative Riz. Oji-san has negative Riz. All the signs are there, and this man cannot see it. His nephew and his friends are the viewers. They see the signs and continue to be shocked of his blindness. I get that Oji-san was a shunning gamer, but dude, come on. You don't have a slight hit all the video games back in the day, and then teach him how to pick up any girls? Come on. Worst, Sega. Sega was a powerhouse in the early video game era, but lost its footing. Oji-san is a Sega fan, and he finds out how many L's they've taken in the 20 years he's been gone. You could be on the PlayStation team, the Xbox team, the Nintendo team, but no one chooses the Sega team, especially back in the day. Come on. This man is just a walking L. Best, the Eminence in Shadow. I was excited for this anime. I read the manga and was hyped for this adaptation. It is a reincarnated fantasy overpowered anime that are usually trash, but I still like them. Eminence in Shadow has the same tropes as the others of the same genre, but has more swagger to it. In my opinion, it has done enough to separate itself from other animes of the same genre, and I think it's a great show. Best, Sid. He is the best main character of the season and maybe of the year. His antics are hilarious and he tries so hard to stay as a background mob character but keeps failing at it. He is a professional capper and will do and say anything to look good in front of Shadow Garden. The members of Shadow Garden thinks he's a genius, but he's acting more like one. Best, action. The fight scenes could be better, but aren't bad. There's no censorship from blood and we see people fucking die. It doesn't shy away from the violence, which other animes of the same genre do. It's not on Chainsaw Man's level, but it doesn't need to be. Also, Sid is just overpowered. This man needs to get nerfed. Best, money. Sid needs money to build his underground empire. To do this, he has his gang make money by telling stories about his world. They use that information to create successful department stores, and one becomes a famous author. He had no idea this would happen, but keeps rolling with it like he planned it from the beginning. Also, a best moment is this scene, where Sid is about to read the title of the show. Worst, manga changes. This adaptation mostly stays true to the manga, but there are two changes that grinds my gears. The beginning of the manga is hilarious, with Sid being massive and running into a truck to be reincarnated. I was so excited to see this animated, but it never came. Next is the coin scene. Why did they change the dialogue? It was unnecessary and less superior. I just think the manga dialogue was funnier. It was a strong first half of the season, and I'm excited for the second half of the season.
すごく惹かれるんだ。この子、俺の恋人。
あのね、フシ君、恋人はあくまで人間であって人形ではないんだよ。
人形が恋人で何が悪いんだ。
Best To Your Eternity 2. Season 1 was a banger. Season 2 was solid, but it didn't hit as much as Season 1. It's not their fault, because they couldn't continue the same formula as Season 1. The focus on Season 2 needed to be on Fuchi's character development, and they are accomplishing it. The season is still going on, and it should only get better. Best, no tears. Season 2 stopped cutting the onion so much compared to Season 1. No one likes shedding tears, and Season 1 took so many tears that Season 2 had no tears to take. Best, Fuchi's character development. Fuchi is becoming more human. He wants to be Superman and save everyone from the Nokers, but is slowly understanding that he can't. Fuchi is becoming more than just an immortal being. He's finally understanding the terrors of the world he lives in. This was a strong first half of the season, and I'm excited to see where this adventure goes in the back half of the season.
ちょっと気は引けるが試してみるかえいえいえいえいえいえいえいえいお来たわ
Worst? Me. I wrote off Reincarnated as a sword as another light novel fantasy trash that would disappear with the others of the same genre. I gave it a chance and thoroughly enjoyed the season. Reincarnated as a sword won't blow you away. It's kinda average, but it's funny and entertaining. Season 2 was announced, and I will definitely give it a watch. Best? Dynamic duo. Fran and the sword has great chemistry. The anime success starts with their relationship, and it was a big part of making this anime entertaining. This duo is like LeBron and Kyrie. Their relationship feels natural, and they have great banter between each other. Best, Black versus Blue Cats. In the anime, the Blue Cats deceives and hunts the Black Cats, and it clearly symbolizes the real-life problems of cops racially profiling Black people. Clearly, they did this on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. Worst, slave collars. Fantasy animes love to put slave collars or slave spells. It is overdone, and I would be fine without them. Best, action. I was surprised with the action scenes. Limbs were cut off, gushing blood from slashes. I didn't expect an anime like this to show more violent aspects of fight scenes. If you enjoyed the genre, I think you will like Reincarnated as a sword. If not, this anime won't change your mind about the genre.
あと少しで俺の嫁が決まるクロリス来いクロリスよしたく羨ましいよ次郎ちゃん今時そんなドット絵のキャラで燃えられるなんて
Best, More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers, is a pretty good romance triangle anime. They set a good pace with building the relationship between the three romantic interests, and we see significant progress in their feelings towards each other. The problem I have with most romance animes is that it takes too long for characters to act on their feelings, and by the time we see progress, the anime is over. More Than a Married Couple, But Not Lovers doesn't have that problem, and it's an enjoyable watch. Best, art style. The colors are vibrant, the background looks great, the characters pop out at you, and it's bright. I'm glad they went in this direction, and it stands out. Best, the girls. Akari and Shiori are great love interests, and I don't know which one I prefer with the main character, Jiru. They do fall into the childhood friend and Yaru tropes, but it's done well. We see them figure out what they want and how they feel, and by the end of the season, it's a matter of who will get to Jiru's heart first. Worst, the trade. The plot is that Jiru and Akari wants to improve their marriage rankings so they can trade with Shiori and her partner, Minami. Obviously, both partners would have to agree to the swap, but it's never stated that Shiori and Minami would accept the swap. Jiru and Akari are assuming they would accept, which is tough to assume because this practical marriage is an assignment. Why switch if they're doing well? Just a minor plot hole that I saw throughout the series, but in the end, it didn't matter anyways.
そうだよなおお行くいけない
Worst, Shinobi no Ittoki. I dropped the show. The The anime wasn't so bad that I dropped it because it was mid. I found it boring with some funny moments sprinkled in. This is a below average show with some bright spots, but not enough to justify finishing the season. Worse, battle fit. The fit for when they battle is goofy as hell. It looks ridiculous and I couldn't get my mind off of it. Best, Honey Trap. This scene was a bright spot. As a viewer, we knew something was up and the reveal was well done and funny. Best, I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. The genre has been getting adaptations in the past few seasonal animes, and they are surprisingly entertaining. It follows the same plot of being reincarnated into an Otome game that the main character plays, but they are reincarnated as the villain of the story. Taming the final boss follows that plot, and it's not bad. It was enjoyable to watch, but far from perfect. Best, Eileen. She is a strong main character, and is the main reason it was enjoyable to watch. She gave me the smartest person in one episode, and then the goofiest in another. She isn't clueless, and is the reason for solving the problems in the show. Best, Ducks. The Ducks is the goofiest thing in the show, and I love it. It puts a smile on my face when they're on the screen. It's recurring and unexpected. They're looking like a goofy version of the Power Rangers. Worst, the almost rape scene. For a pretty tame show, it is interesting that they would put this scene in the 4th episode. It feels out of place and they could have done something different to further the plot. In the anime, I feel like it's out of character for the prince to commit this assault. I'm never a fan of these scenes in anime. We're only getting more adaptations of Villainous Otome games, and they gotta do things to be different from the others. Having a scene like this only makes it worse.
さすがにそろそろ資格取り消しも視野に入れこの度は大変ご迷惑を後始末はお任せください
Beast Tamer is not the best or worst, kinda just mid. So for the first time we got a mid. Beast Tamer is just average. It is your typical fantasy adventure where the main character gets kicked out of the party, but turns out he has very powerful abilities. He collects more ultimate species and becomes more OP. It has his moments, but it is the same as the hundreds of others in the same genre. Best, Confrontation. Rain gets confronted by the hero party early on in the anime, and he puts them in their place. I love when main character proves their doubters wrong, and Rain continues to prove them wrong throughout the season. Worst, Slave Collar. Again, slave collars are overused, and there needs to be an alternative. Rain forms contracts with animals and ultimate beast species, which is basically like slaves, but he treats them with respect and equals, so I guess he gets a pass. Beast Tamer is a skippable show. It got some funny moments in it, but it's mid as hell. Alright, so those were the best and worst of the animes I've watched for fall 2022. Now here are the animes in fall 2022 that I didn't watch, but I just want to briefly talk about. First one is My Hero Academia Season 6. I am not caught up on the show, and at this rate, I don't know if I ever will. I do like My Hero, but I'm too lazy to binge it. I've heard there were crazy moments in this season, and I did watch some parts of it because my friends were streaming it on Discord. My Hero is a good anime, and I doubt it will ever be bad. It will only get more interesting, and I'm sure that a future arc will be so amazing that it will force me to binge the series and catch up. Uzaki-chan wants to hang out too. I watched a few episodes of season 1 but dropped it. There are bright moments in each episode, but the rest is boring. And I felt like it was the same for season 2. YouTube keeps recommending me clips from season 2. I've watched them and they are entertaining and funny. It almost made me go and watch a season, but I know those fun couple of minutes are surrounded by trash. Small doses of this anime I can take, but watching full episode is too much for me. My problem with the show is that it's a cat and mouse game for the relationship. Like, we know their feelings for each other, but they don't act on it. And also, a lot of the side characters are more interesting than the main characters themselves. I do recommend watching the clips on YouTube though. Some of them are really funny. Bocchi the Rock. Every seasonal anime, there is always an anime that flies under the radar that turns out to be a hit. Bocchi the Rock is that anime. I haven't watched it, but I've seen the memes and extremely positive reviews online. It has become one of the most popular anime of the season, and I'll have to go back and watch the show. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun 3. Iruma-kun is a great series. It is funny and the characters are great. I did enjoy my time watching the first season, but I never finished it. I just felt like it drags on a bit. If they made each season 12 episodes instead of 24, I'll probably be caught up. I know it's bad to complain about getting more, but for this series, some parts of the series feel like a chore to get through. I do find the series entertaining and I want to give it another chance. I just might have to skip the parts where I find boring. Akiba Maid War. I wasn't expecting much of this anime, and that's why I didn't talk about it in my last video. I didn't think that the maids would be in an actual war. I was seeing guns, corpses, blood, and more, while they were all in maid outfits. It was a definite surprise to me, and I might have to go back and check it out. Golden Kamuy 4. I watched season 1 when it first came out, and it was entertaining. The humor was on point, and the main characters are amazing. Golden Kamuy is a great series that I need to go back and catch up on. The humor isn't made for everyone, but it should be given a chance. It can be weird at times, but that's what makes it unique. Immoral Guild. I don't care for this anime. I watched the first episode and knew exactly what I would get. Each episode is the same where they hunt a monster and get into situations that the main character did not expect because they are so bad. After the first episode, I wasn't interested in watching more. I felt like I knew the whole series after the first episode. And that is the best and worst of Fall Anime 2022. This is the first in the best and worst series. I'm still trying to figure out the exact formula I want for best and worst in the future. So if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. I never really want to be too negative with an anime. I know I talked about some animes more than others, but I feel like for the established ones, I don't gotta talk as much as like a new series. Let me know what you thought was the best anime of fall and what was the worst anime of fall, and some of the moments you liked. What anime should I go back and watch, and which one did you watch? That's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.